What's up, Skullbells TV? Hope that you are hungry because we are making bacon, elk, and egg burger stackers in this video. Yeah, you heard me correctly. It's as epic as it sounds. Bacon, elk, and egg burger stackers. So I've been slamming these down actually every single day for the past week, and this is very similar actually to how our top carnivore bodybuilders like Jill, Danielle, Jimmy, Leo, and the rest of the gang that you've been hearing on the podcast. This is ideal for those who thrive on routine, for bodybuilders that are on contest prep, and number 3, people who are busy. And I happen to fall into all 3 of those categories, if you know me very well. Currently 128 days out from guest posing at the Open Natural. I am meticulously counting macros, tracking macros, been at 200 grams protein and 230 grams fat for the last 4 weeks. Still steadily losing weight at a new prep low of 201 pounds this morning. I was happy to see that. In addition, I am a dad, a bodybuilding coach, inventor of Skullbells, skull-themed gym equipment, and host of 2 podcasts, not to mention that I'm the bass player for a local punk rock band and the worship team for our church. So in the words of Jay Cutler, I eat for function, right? John 4:34 says, "My work is to do the will of him who sent me and finish his work." Of our 19 athletes that we're training at the moment, 8 of them have competitions on the calendar. 17 are advanced hypertrophy athletes and power lifters. Nobody is regularly eating carbs right now. Everybody is eating lots of red meat, and 10 of them are actually regularly eating bacon and eggs in addition to red meat. So I guess you attract what you are. Proverbs 15:22 says, "Plans fail when there is no counsel, but with many advisors they succeed." All right, so since we are using lean meat as the primary ingredient in this video, we're going to be topping our burgers with lots and lots of fat. So personal question for you watching this is, are you scared to eat fat? I used to be. That's why I ask. So that's something that I had to learn to get used to, and I'm glad that I made that change, and I'm never, ever looking back. If that's where you're at right now, maybe these couple reminders will help you to better appreciate the nutritional value that the bacon and the duck eggs, yeah, because we're using duck eggs in this video. You can use chicken eggs if you want. But let's see if this helps though. So number 1, fat influences digestion and the absorption of other food in your system. Without sufficient fat, you don't get what you should out of the other foods that you're eating. Point number 2 is that fat helps transport certain essential vitamins throughout the body. These vitamins are fat soluble, which is to say that they dissolve in fat, like vitamin D, for example. So fat is the vehicle in which these vitamins travel to key points in the body, just as a river may be a vehicle in transporting certain elements to the sea. I like that analogy. And point number 3 that I want to make is, remember that fat, not sugar, not glucose, but fat, is our body's preferred energy for cells always. We must convert sugar, proteins, simple sugars, and amino acids to fat in the liver, otherwise we die. And that's not good. The liver is critical for producing fat via the insulin-dependent reactions and pathways. So if you're cutting for a show or a photo shoot, beating sugar cravings is key. When you feed your body the fat that it needs, it helps keep cravings to a minimum so that you can finish strong and crush your competition. All right. So the ingredients that we're going to be using, 3 main meats. We're going to be using bacon, ground elk, and duck eggs. You can use chicken eggs if you want, but I'm going to be using duck eggs, and that's what you're going to see in the video. I love duck eggs. They taste better than chicken eggs. I'm able to get them for free because my parents have them, and they live like 15 minutes away, and so it's super nice to just pick those up a couple times a week. Saves on our grocery bill a little bit, and like I said, they're way more nutritious than chicken eggs. Starting with having a higher fat content too. If you are on contest prep, then using these 3 main meats, you can easily adjust them to hit the exact macros that you need. So if you need more protein, for example, you increase your red meat. If you need more fat, you increase either your bacon or your butter or your tallow. All of those are very, very high in omega-3s, particularly bacon, as a matter of fact. And so high in MCTs as well, great for the ketogenic diet, great for anybody to be consuming, really. I wish that I wish that the world would start to wake up to the fact that bacon is not an unhealthy food, and that it's great. I think it should be in most people's meal plans. But anyway, we are going to, and then if you need more of either protein or fat, you can just increase your eggs, because they're essentially a 1-to-1 ratio if you're using duck eggs. And if you enjoy larger volume meals, then that could be a good idea to go heavier on those. So we're going to have 6 ounces of bacon and 16 ounces of ground elk. I have quite a bit more than this personally, but these numbers that I'm throwing out is just if you're just going to make this recipe and you're not weighing anything, and if you're not necessarily on contest prep. But if you are on contest prep, then obviously you're going to have to adjust these numbers. And it's super flexible and easy to do that. So 6 ounces of bacon is what I'm recommending for it. 16 ounces of ground elk or bison or deer, like I said, or any lean ground red meat will work for this. 4 duck eggs. So chicken eggs will work, like I said, but duck eggs, I think that if you can get access to these, man, oh man, it makes it so much better. So butter or tallow, and then I've been using tallow actually as of lately over butter, especially after just doing the lion diet for 60 days. I really enjoyed it and found like a million different ways to prepare it, and so I particularly enjoy it right now because it's higher in choline and because my skin quality is a little bit better when I'm not consuming butter. But other than that, natural sea salt is what we'll need. I'm using pink potassium cave salt for potassium, and then I'm using Baja Gold natural grain mineral sea salt for magnesium. Both of those are on our website, supersetyourlife.com, and those are both totally in stock because those are like my two go-to salts for everything. Seasonings are optional, but I encourage you to try making this with salt only. All right, so the directions. We're going to start by heating up a pan to a little hotter than medium. Your pan options are going to be a Dutch oven or a cast iron skillet. Really just any pan that is 4 inches tall or higher. This is going to reduce splatter. It's going to save your clothes. I've definitely gotten a bit of grease on some of my favorite shirts that won't come out, unfortunately. So you live and learn. It also improves accuracy with counting macros and with your tracking, because if you think about it, think of all the grease that splatters out of the pan that you have to wipe up when you're done. Okay, it might not seem that it's throwing your macros off that much. But if you're 5% off one day, and then you're 5% off the next day, and then you're 5% off the next day, after 20 weeks, that's like 100%, right? Or after 20 days, that's like 100%. So it adds up over time is what I'm saying. And using this has been kind of like my biggest learning point, or my biggest discovery lately is how much better it is using a tall pan than just like a traditional small bacon frying pan, or at least for this, at least for the purposes that we're trying to accomplish here. So you're going to start by actually adding bacon into the pan immediately. This is step number 2. So right after you get it hot, before it gets hot, you want to put the bacon in your pan right then and there once it starts heating up, so it starts cooking that bacon nice and slow. Then step number 3 is you're going to add eggs and burger patties around the bacon grease. So slide the bacon around as needed to evenly distribute the grease. You're going to keep the bacon in the pan for as long as you can. All right. You're going to add butter and tallow as needed, and let all that red meat and the burgers and the eggs soak up all that fat. The edges of the eggs is like obviously, mostly protein. And so the more that it soaks up that fat, I just feel like it gives so much more flavor and so much more body to those eggs.